Hi everybody, it's Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hineni, and I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about where I am and what I'm thinking as far as moving forward. So one of the things, so I had said at the beginning of the month that I was going to think about things about Bill and try to figure out how I could apply those to my life. And that was going to be like my big project for December. I was going to try to think of one thing each day. Well, I got orders for paintings and for journals and stuff. And so I was really busy, and then I had time that I was, spending at church instead of at home and stuff. And anyway, I just didn't have a lot of time for working on that. I did implement the things that I had started, and so that's been good. And and maybe that's better than trying to come up with all these things in 1 month or something. It is something that I do want to do, but it might be more like I'll try to think of one thing a week or even one thing a month that I learned from Bill and try to implement that or apply it in some way. I think that trying to do one a day was just like crazy too much, and that's kind of what I tend to do. Is I tend to try to take on too much, so that's not unusual for me. I'm not sure if I really need these. I printed out a bunch of backgrounds in case I needed them for anything in here, and if I do, then I'll go ahead and get them. But I think I want to use that, some pieces of it. So what was I thinking? I did have something I was going to tell you about and talk about, and now I can't remember. That is one thing that's been very distressing for me, is that, and it helps somewhat because I know that this is normal. I've read and been told many times that this is normal, but it is really hard for me is that my memory is bad. I don't think very clearly. It's hard for me to plan things out. So that's been really, really difficult for me because I am a thinker and a planner and an organizer, and yeah. But what hasn't been difficult for me is creative stuff. Like, it has not been hard for me to paint. I have so many ideas for paintings that I want to do that I just haven't had time for. And so I want to, I think, focus maybe on creative stuff for a while until my brain comes back. I think that would be really good. And so there's several things that I'm going to focus on. In January, I need to finish getting my house in order. Bill and I, for those of you who haven't been watching all along, Bill and I had moved all of our stuff up to our house in the mountains because we had sold this house that I'm living in here. And so we had moved everything up there in anticipation of having to be out of this house and living up there. Well, the deal fell through at the last minute, like the day before signing or the day of signing. I can't remember. Anyway, it fell through. And we already had moved everything up there, and it cost us like $3,500 to move everything up there. We did not have the money to move everything back, and we wanted to eventually live up there, so there was no point in moving it all back. So we've been basically, we, for the last year and a half, had been basically camping out here in this house. So when he died, I made the decision that I was going to live here, at least for now. Because I didn't really want to live up there in the mountains by myself. I do have really, really wonderful neighbors, and so if I decided to live up there, I wouldn't be completely alone, but still, it's just, yeah. But someday I may want to move up there. So, and in the meantime, I want to kind of use it for retreats and stuff, but I need to, there's no bathroom or kitchen yet, so I need to do those. I need to get the money to do those, things. And so that'll come. I'm not ready to do that kind of stuff yet. Those require decisions that I do not have the capacity to make right now. Anyway, so my point was that this house wasn't we weren't using it as a permanent abode. We weren't doing any decorating. We didn't have furniture. We had a table and a couple chairs, and I did have a few things back here in my craft room. And we had a very horrible bed and stuff. So one of the first things that I did was I got a good bed. I was going to move stuff down here from the house, and my dad had a really good point that if I'm going to keep the house, I'm going to need furniture, refrigerator, and everything up there, so I should just leave that there, and it would cost the same or less to get furniture here than it would to bring that stuff down. And because I'm not I'm not that kind of person who has to have new furniture. I don't think I've ever had new furniture, and a couple pieces here and there, but mainly hand-me-downs or stuff from thrift stores, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So so my mom and I went to the thrift store. I did buy a new bed and mattress, and I love it. That has helped so much. But we went to the thrift store, we got some furniture and everything, and so I'm starting to fix this house up, and I haven't really done much decorating yet, but I do want to do that. So what I'm saying is, I think that a good goal for me for January is to work on one room of the house each week and try to get it really pulled together, not necessarily decorated, but get it organized in a livable way. There's just a lot of, I've got the furniture, I've got stuff, I've got bookcases and stuff that aren't put together, and things like that. So I've got a lot that needs to be done. And so I think that would be a good thing to do during January, because I don't have to be able to think really well for that. And then I think after that, if I still am at a low functioning mental level, then I think that my next thing would be to really work on building up my Widow Ruckelshaus shop, which is my journal shop. And Bill and I had been talking about, that I needed to have a separate shop for my journals, and he had a lot of ideas for that, and I'm going to be implementing as many of those as I can without him. So I could work on building that shop up. And, as soon as I get to the place where I can think clearly enough to write, I really, really need to get this book done and get on with my writing. But in the meantime, I'll probably do some paintings and stuff. I'm kind of thinking about taking up watercolor. My grandmother did a lot of watercolor, and I've always loved watercolor, but I have never tried it. And I've watched a few videos, and I think, wow, I could do that. So I just want to try it. I got some cheap watercolors and paper and stuff to start out with, and I think that will be good for me to do. I think that those are the kinds of things that I need to do to get myself back. The other thing that I need to do to be able to move on is, and I've been working on this, I've even made a few recordings about it, is figuring out who I am. I don't know who I am anymore, because I'm not the same person that I was before I married Bill at all. I have changed so much. For one thing, I'm writing books. I had written books before, but I wasn't writing fiction. And for another thing, I'm just a different person. But I'm not the same person that I was when I was married to him, because I don't have him anymore. So that's different. I just realized, how many minutes have I gone? Oh, that's right. I did restart this. Okay, so I'm okay. I'm okay for a little bit longer. So that's the other thing I need to do, is I need to figure out who I am. But I don't think that's something that I can say, okay, I'll do that this month and get that done. I think it's got to be something that I'm working on ongoing. So I'm hoping to do some more recordings on that, because it really does help me to think through things on video, which is just kind of weird and blows my mind, but that's how it is. So, and I've heard that it helps other people, when they watch my videos. So that's good. So that makes me feel a little bit better that I'm not just doing something weird, even if it is weird. So what do I want to do with this? I printed this up actually for another journal, but then I thought it would be nice to have in here, and I could put some things in it. and maybe put something, a saying or something, or a picture of Bill or something, I don't know. But I'm not quite sure where to put, like a page that's just like purple like this or something would be really pretty. That's one thing about junk journals. That might be good. One thing about junk journals is that you don't have to do things in order. You can just kind of go through and do it however you want. So, I can just look through and put this wherever I want to. I like that. Let me just see what it would look like on a green page, because she has some green pages in here too. I think, maybe not. There's always a white page too, and I could do some stenciling. That's an idea. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, so I think that having those kinds of things to work on will, in some ways, it'll also kind of like rest my brain. Does that make sense? Ooh, that's pretty. Peacock feather. That I want to do something in just brown and gold. I think that will help to kind of rest my brain and allow me to recover some. Again, I'm not advising anybody because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just sharing what I'm doing, not what you should do. Yeah, so I think that it'll help rest me some, which will be good. And I think that, I just think that it would be good for me to do those creative things for a while. I'm thinking at least a couple months. And whenever I feel like writing, I will, because even if my writing's not real good right now, it's like a rough draft that I at least am getting ideas down, and I can go back and tweak them as much as I need to, or improve them as much as I need to. Generally, I don't have to do a whole bunch of drafts. But I think with this book, because of where I am in life right now and how I'm doing mentally, I think it's going to take a few drafts. And that's okay. I want this book to be really, really good. I feel like this book is really important, not just to the series, but to other things. I just feel like it's an important book. So I want it to be really good. So that's my plan for now. For what it's worth. I think one of the things that I'll be doing this week, tomorrow I'm planning to go up to the house and, oops, I didn't get this in here. I'm planning to go up to the house and, because I need to see my neighbor up there, and that'll be good. And I need to take stuff to recycling. And then I think that the rest of the week, possibly through the following week, I'm not sure, I'm going to work on trying to come up with lists of what I need to do in order to organize the house. Because it just helps me to have lists. I love making lists. That's very therapeutic for me. And but it also helps me when I'm not able to think very well. If I have a list of what I need to do, then I can just do what's on the list. I don't need to think, what do I need to do next? It's on my list, especially if I break things down into really small steps. I try to list things in in increments of no more than 15 minutes. And so that means that I don't have to really think when I'm doing stuff. I just follow my own directions. So that's my plan. I don't know if I have anything else really to talk about. I really appreciate you guys listening and letting me get this stuff off my chest. I think it has really helped me a lot to be able to talk through this with you guys. Anyway, I think that's probably it. I really, really appreciate your prayers. Please don't stop praying for me. Please, please, please don't stop praying for me. Because I really need your prayers. I can tell that not as many people are praying for me, which is just natural because, you know, there are people who pray for you. There were a lot of people who didn't even know me who were praying for me. And so, of course, you know, those people are probably not praying for me anymore. They've gone on to something else, and that's fine. But I still really need prayers. I need a lot of prayers. And so I need you guys to please not stop praying for me. So anyway, I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to say right now. Hopefully I will be doing more videos, but who knows? I don't want to promise anything. And hopefully I'll be getting back to crafting videos soon too. I need to be doing that. I either have to do that or I need to drop off the design team that I'm on. But I really like doing that, and yeah. So anyway, so hopefully I'll be doing some more crafting videos. Junk journaling, junk journal making type of stuff. Okay, I love you all. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.